Church from the comfort of our homes. Innovative for some, iconoclastic for others. What we can all agree upon is its expediency in such a time as a global pandemic. Any other century, and we would all be doomed to no church at all. Convenient as it was for the last few weeks, we've also come to realize that this is definitely an odd and uncommon way to celebrate the most important feast of our Christian faith, the resurrection of Christ. Easter is about coming out of the grave. Easter is about leaving behind our hiding places. Easter is about visiting our neighbor, sharing the good news, giving the kiss of peace, and partaking from the Lord's table. Yet here we are, still locked up, albeit in the comfort of our homes, and we cannot even visit loved ones, parents, children, and friends. Although we believe that nothing can replace the celebration of Christ's life and his most important sacrifice, his body and blood, as our source of eternal life, nevertheless, while we wait for the world to be healed from this pandemic, we can already witness the light at the end of the tunnel. See, the situation we're in is actually quite an informative way of retelling the story of Easter, the story of the Sunday after Jesus' crucifixion. The Gospel of John, chapter 20, verse 19, reads as follows. On the evening of the first day of the week, the disciples were together with the doors locked for fear. Just as we now fear the coronavirus and the death it brings, so the apostles feared the forces that crucified Jesus, lest it also reached and killed them. Death, it is not a new mechanism, and hiding from it, not a novel solution as well. A noteworthy example is the Passover in the book of Exodus. Something much worse than a plague visited ancient Egypt. A force of death so dreadful it would take the life of every firstborn in every house indiscriminately. The Israelites survived by hiding and by following the instructions of Moses. They marked the doorposts of their homes with the blood of a slaughtered lamb. It did save them. But was there more to this ritual, to this seemingly cosmetic antidote? In a time when the whole world is looking for a cure, a vaccine, God, on that day, hinted he was going to offer a remedy, but not something that would be useful for just one strain of a virus against one force of death. No, this cure, this medicine, if you will, was going to be a permanent one against all forms of evil, pain, suffering, and death. Because just as a vaccine working within our body goes against the source of our illness, similarly God sent his Son to oppose the source of humanity's biggest fear, death itself. From as far back as we can recall, humanity has feared death. To be honest, it is not unwise to fear death because, well, it's not fun to die. And for such an important event in our life, it doesn't even ask for an appointment. On this most amazing feast of Easter, we can continue to despise death, keeping us locked in our homes, away from our loved ones, our church, our Christ. That is despicable. But we no longer need to fear it. For today, the doors of our homes and our hearts have been marked with Christ's blood, the true Lamb. And no form of death, not even the devil himself, can overcome the power of Christ. One final thought. Paul the Apostle paraphrases the Old Testament prophet Hosea in his letter to the Corinthians. It is basically the rhetorical question of a triumphant one. Where, O death, is your victory? Where, O death, is your sting? The literal translation from the Hebrew Bible of Hosea's words are even more fitting for our situation today. O death, where are your plagues? O grave, where is your destruction? I will tell you exactly where death is. It lies somewhere on this planet, close to a city known as Jerusalem. It has found its own grave. Yes, paradoxical as it sounds, death has been put to rest. For its greatest victory, killing the creator of life, also became its greatest defeat. As the one who died, Jesus, came out of the grave, but the one who killed, death, remained there forevermore. Today's hymn joyfully exalts, Mahvamp is mah gochiats. Through death, he crushed death, and through his resurrection, he gave us true life.